The afternoon had slowed itself down to a walk from a trot. It had done so politely, without asking, as afternoons often do when there is nothing pressing them along. Sunlight rested on the woolen rug, bathing its swirling patterns in wide, warm stretches. The air held the soft smell of wood and tea leaves, and the purple fragrance of some blackberries in the fruit bowl. The bunnies were nearby, each in their own small pocket of the room. Berry sat on the rug. He had little bags of different bird seed in front of him. The seeds were all different sizes, some tiny like pinheads, others larger and striped black and white. The birds liked a mixture, so he was carefully pouring the different seeds into an empty yogurt pot to mix them. Floyd was at the kitchen table, cleaning the wooden spoon he had used to stir the flour when he made the morning's loaf. He tapped it on the table, and little white puffs came away each time. Caratina sat beside the biscuit tin, wiping the inside of its lid where a chocolate drop had become stuck. Millie Moonbeam was folding a square of baking paper, smoothing it flat each time with her palm. Roscoe was sitting in the armchair with a small cardboard box. It kept popping open, which wasn't much use if he wanted to keep his monster truck safe inside it. He turned it over once, thoughtfully, then slipped a rubber band around it. There, now it held shut. Without thinking much, he plucked it gently with his paw. The sound was small, soft. It didn't echo or bounce, but it was rather pleasing. Berry looked up at once. "That sounded nice," he said. Roscoe tried again, even more gently this time. "It sounds like it's the start of something," said Floyd. Millie Moonbeam smiled. "Or waiting." Berry gave his yogurt pot a little shake by accident. He stopped at once, surprised. "That's interesting," he said. Roscoe nodded. "Try it slowly." Berry shook it again carefully. The sound was hushed and grainy, like foamy waves over a shingly beach. Floyd tapped his spoon lightly against the side of the mixing bowl, just once, then he stopped. They all listened. It sounded like a bell, and faded like one too. Caratina reached out and tapped the biscuit tin with her paw, just enough to notice it. "That one feels steady," she said, "like it knows where it belongs." Millie Moonbeam lifted the baking paper and held it in both outstretched paws. She swished it back and forth through the air. It made a quiet whispering sound, like pages being turned in a very old book. No one spoke for a moment. The room seemed to be listening too. Roscoe plucked the rubber band again, softly. "I think," he said, "we're making something." Berry's ears tipped forward. "Yes," he said, "a rather careful something." "A together something," Floyd added. They tried again, not all at once. One sound, then another, then a pause. They left space between each thing they did, as though the space mattered just as much as the sound itself. When they stopped, the room felt fuller, not noisier, just warmer. "That felt like music," said Millie Moonbeam. Roscoe nodded. Music that knows when enough is enough, without too much a-doing of. Berry's eyes brightened. Mr. Bramblewick would like this. Mr. Bramblewick liked things that were made slowly, things that came from paying attention. So they gathered their instruments. Berry covered his yogurt pot carefully with a piece of paper and secured it with string so the seeds wouldn't fall out. Floyd placed his spoon into his bowl. Carotina carried the biscuit tin with both paws. Millie Moonbeam rolled the baking paper into a soft tube. Roscoe carried the box by its rubber band, so it bounced gently as he moved. The path to Mr. Bramblewick's garden was bordered by yellow-green grass and dappled with light. Leaves fluttered gently overhead. A hen clucked once, then settled again. Mr. Bramblewick was in his garden, raking over the soil of one of his vegetable plots, when the bunnies arrived. He straightened and smiled when he saw them, leaning on his rake. "Well now," he said, "you all look as though you've brought something with you." Roscoe inclined his head. "We have, if you'd like to hear it." Mr. Bramblewick sat down on the wooden bench beneath the apple tree and folded his hands. "I'd like that very much." They stood in a loose half-circle on the grass. Berry went first, giving his shaker a small, careful shake. Floyd followed with a gentle tap. Carotina added a quiet, steady beat. Millie Moonbeam moved the baking paper through the air slowly. Roscoe plucked the rubber band just once. They didn't hurry. They let each sound arrive, then leave. A hen paused her scratching. Another lifted her head. The little chick paused midway through nibbling some grain. The music didn't try to be anything grand. It simply meandered among the cabbages and the feathery carrot tops, floating on the late afternoon light. When it ended, no one rushed to speak. Mr. Bramblewick nodded slowly. "That," he said, "was very kindly made." Berry smiled. "It was a thoughtful piece," Mr. Bramblewick continued. "It felt like you were listening to each other." While they packed their instruments away again, Mr. Bramblewick reappeared with fresh apple juice for the bunnies. They chatted peacefully, and when it was time, walked quietly home. Back in the cottage, evening had begun to gather. The kettle was filled, lamps were lit, celery soup was warmed and bread was toasted and buttered. Heaven. Later, curled together in the sitting room, Berry yawned. "I liked how the sounds waited," he said sleepily. "Yes," said Millie Moonbeam. "They made room." Roscoe rested his paws on his tumblington. "Some things sound best," he said, "when they aren't trying too hard." Outside, the day let go. Inside, the cottage settled. All was snug. All was well. Night, night.